Tucked away in the dry, dusty and harsh terrain of northern Kenya is a deserted military airstrip. The Wagalla airstrip. Weather-beaten buildings and the occasional visits by herdsmen leading the flock to pastures beyond. It's long been abandoned. Not a single plane has flown in or out of this military airstrip in 27 years. But in July 2010, 17 women visited this abandoned military airstrip. I was there to receive them. It was a painful and difficult journey for them. Even though they live only a few kilometers away, they haven't been here in 26 years. They came here to relive the painful memories of February 9th, 1984. That was the day, in the wee hours of that humid and dark Friday morning, that security personnel surrounded villages occupied by members of the Somali Degodia clan. By dawn, more than 5,000 men had been rounded up and driven in trucks to the Wagalla military airstrip. What followed is one of the darkest chapters in Kenya's history. The men were forced to strip and lie naked on their stomachs on hot tarmac in the sweltering February heat. They were then brutally battered and tortured by the security personnel. Those who tried to escape were shot. When the dust had settled, hundreds lay dead, hundreds more maimed, and thousands unaccounted for. Back in their homes, another attack was taking place, targeting the women and children left behind. The women were beaten, gang-raped, and their houses torched. These attacks at the military airstrip and in the homes lasted for 3 days. Those women who were lucky to survive the attacks tried to find their way to the Wagalla military airstrip in search of their husbands, brothers, and sons. Those who made it were met by the sight and smell of death and destruction. Today, these women have come back to the scene in memory of their loved ones who died here. The memories were as fresh as though it had happened only yesterday. Their own scars, a permanent reminder of the brutality that was rained on them. Mothers, wives, daughters, nieces, cousins, coming together to the very place where they lost their loved ones, right here on the Wagalla airstrip. They're raising their hands to the heavens, asking God one question: when will we ever get justice? This dark chapter in Kenya's history has come to be known as the Wagalla massacre. The United Nations has declared the Wagalla massacre as the worst episode of human rights violations in Kenyan history. 27 years later, nobody has paid the price for committing this heinous crime. The pain and tears are still fresh for these people whose cries for justice have been met with an eerie silence from government. Who ordered the massacre? The involvement of the police and military personnel points to a government operation. Did the then Kenya government commit genocide against its own people? One of the biggest mysteries about this massacre is the fact that less than 48 hours earlier, top government officials belonging to the National Intelligence and Security Committee held a meeting at the Wajir DC's office. Was there a link between this meeting and the massacre? Who are these officials? We have their names. In this series, Death in the Desert, we examine the critical questions surrounding the Wagalla massacre and pose the question: will justice ever be served? Kenya's secret history continues tomorrow. Belinda Obura for Citizen TV.